What if I told you that one of the most famous American journalists, a man watched by millions, debated by millions more, is listed as an enemy of the state on a kill list published by a foreign government? That's not a theory, it's not a speculation, it's a verifiable fact. Tucker Carlson's name, face, and alleged crimes are now officially posted on Myrotvorets, a Ukrainian-run database that has already been linked to harassment, political persecution, and the murders of journalists, politicians, and civilians. This isn't just a story about Tucker, it's a story about how war and power destroy dissent, about how governments silence opposition in the name of national security, and most disturbingly, it's a story about how the United States continues to fund and protect one of the most dangerous censorship tools in the Western world. Today, we're breaking down what Myrotvorets is and how it operates, who created and maintains it, multiple real people who were murdered after being listed, how the Ukrainian state uses it officially despite its non-government mask, and what it means when a sitting government can label foreign journalists as enemies and get away with it. I'm Muzzy Alanizi, and this might get me listed too. So if you do me a big favor, hit that subscribe button, like the video, comment for the YouTube algorithm. And let me make this very clear, because there are fact checkers who have already disputed this. But the Ukrainian kill list isn't a rumor. It has a name, a website, and a searchable database. It's called Myrotvorets, which means peacemaker, an Orwellian name for a project that does the opposite. Founded in 2014, Myrotvorets emerged after the Maidan Revolution and the breakout of the war in Donbas. It officially became the online archive of the enemies of Ukraine list. So, who gets listed? Journalists, both foreign and Ukrainian, politicians from Russia, Europe, and even the United States, human rights activists, and even civilians who criticized the government of Ukraine or questioned the war. Each entry includes the person's full name, photo, country of origin, social media and contact information, and often home addresses, personal numbers, and family details. They're branded with vague but ominous charges like information terrorist, accomplice to Russian aggression, or provocateur. And when someone on the list is killed, their entry is updated with the word liquidated. One man's name comes up again and again, and that's Anton Gerashchenko. Gerashchenko is a former advisor to the Ministry of Internal Affairs of Ukraine and later served as its deputy minister. According to archived reports, he publicly announced the creation of the Myrotvorets in 2014 and promoted it as a useful tool for Ukrainian law enforcement. He once said, "Every citizen should be able to identify and report enemies of the states." Myrotvorets provides that opportunity, but this isn't just a vigilante tool. Despite the claim that the site is independent, Ukraine's intelligence service, the SBU, regularly uses the data. Ukrainian border agents are trained to use the Myrotvorets to detain or block travelers. Courts documents have cited it as evidence in criminal proceedings, and state-funded media have used the list to justify censorship and smear campaigns. This isn't just an arm's-length project, it's deeply embedded in the Ukrainian security apparatus. And Myrotvorets serves four key purposes. Firstly, border control and arrests. If your name is on the list, expect problems. Individuals arriving in Ukraine have been denied entry, denied at customs, interrogated for hours, or deported with lifelong bans. And this applies to journalists and even European Union politicians. Secondly, public shaming, and it's really a doxing list. The site's real power lies in its exposure, encourages online harassment, cyber attacks, and even violence, especially from nationalist groups. Some targets have received death threats within hours of being listed. Thirdly, legal proceedings. Ukrainian prosecutors and judges have used the list in court cases as proof of anti-Ukrainian sentiment. In effect, this list functions like a watch list without due process, bypassing evidence or appeal. And lastly, state-sanctioned elimination. Most disturbing of all, entries are His home address was published on the Vossi in April of 2025, and he was shot dead outside of his apartment in Kiev. His Myrotvorets page was updated with liquidated, and the killers were never convicted. Pavel Sheremet, investigative journalism critical of both Russia and Ukraine, earned Pavel his spot on the Myrotvorets. In July of 2026, he was killed by a car bomb while driving in central Kiev. His name was already on the list, and the case remains unsolved. Ukrainian authorities have been accused of covering up key evidence. Third, Oleg Kalashnikov. Oleg was shot dead in his home in Kyiv in 2015, just days before Oles' assassination. His Myrotvorets page was also updated with the word eliminated. Fourth, Andrea Rocchelli. She was a photographer taking photographs of the war from the separatist side. He was killed by mortar fire in 2014, near 8 years before the Russian invasion of Ukraine. A Ukrainian soldier was arrested in Italy for his murder. Myrotvorets listed Rocchelli as an enemy propagandist, and his killing remains controversial. And fourth, a man we've already covered on this channel, Vladlen Tatarsky. He was listed for being a pro-Russian blogger and war correspondent. He was assassinated in a bombing in St. Petersburg in 2013. Ukrainian sources claim credit, calling it a legitimate target. And what's really crazy about this is a woman gave him a gift that turned out to be a bomb made by the Ukrainian intelligence forces. His death was celebrated by Ukrainian-linked media outlets, and he was already on the Myrotvorets. His page also was updated with the words liquidated. These are just a few examples. There are many more, many less known and less investigated. Now let's talk about Tucker Carlson. Carlson is no stranger to controversy. He's criticized U.S. foreign policy, condemned NATO expansion, and questioned the mainstream media's portrayal of the war in Ukraine. That alone was enough. His photo and profile now appear on the Myrotvorets, and he is labeled as a information terrorist, a propagandist for the Kremlin, and a threat to Ukrainian sovereignty. No trial, no hearing, no evidence, just inclusion. Think about that. A private American citizen, a journalist, is now listed on a kill list maintained and used by a foreign ally of the United States. Carlson hasn't threatened violence. He hasn't committed espionage. He hasn't taken sides in the war. He simply spoke. And what's really crazy is Ukraine receives billions in aid from the United States annually, gets military weapons, cyber defense systems, intelligence training, surveillance hardware, and this money flows even as the Ukrainian government censors opposition, bans media, blacklists critics, and maintains a kill list with Americans' names on it. This isn't just about free speech. It's whether the U.S. is funding authoritarian practices in the name of defending democracy. And why are we so silent? Where are the watchdogs? Where are the journalists who used to defend freedom of speech? The New York Times, silent. The U.S. State Department, silent. The United Nations, silent. Only a few voices, human rights attorneys, European civil liberties organizations, and independent journalists have dared to speak up, and many of them also have been added to the Myrotvorets. This is the new dissent. This is the new playbook. Silence dissent, smear the critics, target them, and eliminate them if necessary. If the world lets us stand, the consequences go far beyond Ukraine. Because if a foreign government can build a database of enemies, use it to block travel, use it to justify illegal persecution, and use it to quietly eliminate people, then the entire idea of press freedom becomes a lie. If Tucker Carlson is listed today, who's next? A podcaster? A college student? You? Let's be very clear about what we've just laid out. Myrotvorets is real. It is used by Ukrainian state institutions, and it has been linked to multiple murders. Tucker Carlson is on it, and the U.S. government is helping the regime that created it. And whether you love or hate Tucker Carlson isn't the point. The point is no journalist anywhere in the world should be placed on a kill list for speaking their mind. That is not democracy. That is not accountability. This is information warfare, and the casualties are real. If you're not concerned, you're not paying attention. Drop your thoughts in the comments, like and share this video, and subscribe to make sure that you don't miss any more deep truths that the mainstream media won't cover. Your call to action today is to raise awareness. I don't believe that we should be funding a government that has Americans on its database, on its enemies' database. And I'll catch you guys tomorrow.